Once combat starts, initiative is rolled, which determines what order everyone goes during combat. Your initiative is calculated from a roll of d20 plus your dexterity modifier and any other modifiers such as the alert feat, which grants an extra 5 bonus. You can check your bonus to your initiative in the character information tab. If you attack while hidden from outside of combat, you will surprise enemies and they will not gain a turn in the first round of combat. If 2 or more members of your party are next to each other in the initiative order, then you can take their turns at the same time. If there are enemies of exactly the same type, say 2 or 3 goblins in the initiative order, then they will also act at the same time as if they're some sort of swarm. On each character's turn, they'll have 1 action and 1 bonus action that can be used to do various things such as attacking, casting a spell, and jumping. In between your turns, each character also has a potential to use a reaction, but only a few abilities use a reaction. One reaction that everyone has access to is Opportunity Attack, which can be found in the passive tabs at the bottom. All characters holding a melee weapon in their hand will have the chance of an Opportunity Attack, which means if an enemy moves away from them, they get to make a free attack. This uses a reaction and you only get to make a single attack. You can open up the Reactions tab by pressing L, and it will list what reactions you have, whether you want the game to ask you for that reaction before it activates, or if it's completely automatic. Each ability says whether it uses an action or a bonus action, and whether it uses any sort of resource such as a Battlemaster's superiority die. There are extra ways of getting extra actions such as a Potion of Speed, or the fighter ability Action Search. Extra bonus actions can be gained from the Thief subclass, and some items such as the Helmet of Grit or the Circlets of Fire. Each character can also move up to a certain distance during their turn, usually determined by their race, but some class features, spells and items can increase the movement speed, and some conditions can decrease movement speed. If you are prone at the beginning of your turn, you will use half of your movement to stand up, regardless of how much movement you started with. There are some common abilities in the Common tab that everyone has access to, which I will cover briefly now. Jump uses a bonus action, and the higher your strength, the further you can jump. Dip also uses a bonus action, and lets you dip your weapons in fire or poison at the making of the video. Shove is a bonus action that lets you push someone or something, and the higher your athletics ability, the higher your chance to shove is. This is also affected by guidance. Hide will be an action, and if you're outside the vision cone of an enemy, you will be hidden, which stops enemies from seeing you and gives you advantage on attack rolls. Throw is an action and lets you throw something or potentially someone if you are strong enough. Improvised melee weapon lets you pick something or someone up, although you do need strength to pick up other people, and as you swing it at something or someone else. Do note that falling prone automatically ends your turn as it is, but you are also unconscious. Dash is an action that lets double your movement speed, although some classes will get it and some classes will get it as a bonus action. Help will remove certain conditions and also helps up a downs ally. Disengage uses an action and stops any and all opportunity attacks against you, although some, again like with dash, some classes and subclasses will get this as a bonus action. The downs condition starts when a character gets to 0 hit points or less. On each of their turns, a d20 will be rolled, and if it's a 10 or higher, that counts as a success. On 3 successes, the character stabilizes. On 3 failures, that character will die and will need resurrecting. Any hits done from within 5 feet will be a critical hit and will count as 2 failures. And any damage done will also count as a failure. If a character receives any healing in the down state, they will get right back up and we'll be ready to fight again. Lastly, let's cover a few basic tips for combat. Generally, it's best to focus on a single enemy at a time, because an enemy does the same amount of damage whether they are on 1 hit point or they're on a full amount of hit points. So here I'm going to keep on going against Devout Mezca. If you can, take the high ground. This gives you a +2 bonus to your ranged attack rolls and also gives enemy a -2 penalty on their attack rolls. Generally, using healing in combat is not a good idea because the damage done by enemies vastly outdoes the amount of healing you can do. The exception to this is healing an ally to get them up from the downed condition, and Healing Word gets a special shout out here because it only uses a bonus action and has a good range. And lastly, read. Take your time to make sure you know what your chosen abilities do. This is a turn-based game, so there's no need to feel rushed in combat whatsoever. Hopefully that brief introduction and those few tips will come in useful. Thank you to all the members of my channel. Please do consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.